Welcome to Live Daf, your online Daf Yomi Shir.
Shalom Aleichem and welcome back. Today's Daf Yomi is Yevamos Daf Mem Aleph, and we are holding at the Mishnah, 3 lines from the top. So we have two sisters, Rachel and Leah. Reuben married Rachel and he passed away. Comes Shimon and does chalitza to Rachel. Ha'choles li'yivimtai. If one does chalitza to his Yevama, then his other brother, we have another brother, Levi, marries Rachel's sister, Leah. Umeis, and he passes away. And now, Shimon is faced with a new Yevama, Leah. Problem is, she happens to be the sister of Rachel, to whom he already did chalitza, and as we learned yesterday, a relative of a chalutza is aser midrabanan. So Leah isn't disqualified completely because it's only midrabanan. What do? We apply chalitza, but yibum cannot be applied. In similar fashion, Reuven divorces Rachel, and Shimon proceeds to marry Leah, and he passes on. And now Reuven is faced with Leah, his brother's former wife, a Yevama. Can he do Yibum? Of course not, because she's a sister of his own wife, who he divorced. And as long as his wife is still alive, or his former wife is still alive, you can't marry a sister. Harezu Petura, Leah is patur completely from Yibum or Chalitza. Let's go over to Rashi, 8 lines from the top. Because in the first case, she's a sister of a chalutza. But we still apply chalitza. We don't disqualify her completely. Why? She's a Yevama. Although the chalutza, her sister, is still around. Why? The whole isser with respect to relatives of a chalutza is only midrabanan on account of gerusha. And that's the next halacha. Now the question is, why add the word v'chein? If in fact it's so different, because chalutza is only drabanan, in which case we still will apply chalitza here, as opposed to the achos gerusha, which is completely pater. So what's the v'chein? Petura, a sister of a gerusha, of a divorcee, is pater. Af mena chalitza, even chalitza is not applied. The yaitza mishum achos isha, because she is in effect your wife's sister. Although she's already divorced from you, but she's still around. That's minat Torah. A sister of one's wife cannot be married as long as his own wife or his former wife is still around. Continues the Mishnah. You have an Isha who's awaiting Yibum. So Reuben passes away. Rachel is a Shemeres Yavam. Rachel is awaiting Yibum from either Shimon or Levi, two surviving brothers. Problem is, Levi went ahead and did Kiddushin to Leah. After this tragedy happened, after Rachel became a Yevama, he went ahead and did Kiddushin to the sister of his Akuk, of the Yevama, who's awaiting his Yibum. What do we do now? Mishum Rabbi Yehuda Kessler Amru. It was said in his name that what? We instruct him as follows. We tell Levi, hold on, Hamtein, wait, until Shimon can go ahead and do something to Rachel, either a Yibum or Chalitza, in which case it's going to dissolve the Zika, and now you'll be free to marry Leah. But until then, you may not do so, because Leah is a sister of Rachel, who's your Yevama, so she's considered Achoy Zekuka. It's like a wife of your sister, because Yevama is sort of a semi-wife. You have to wait until that Zika, that bond, that Chiv of Yibum dissipates. Okay, Cholatz la'achiv, Oy kansa, Shimon does Chalitza to Rachel, or actually marries Rachel. Yechne says Ishtay, then Levi is free to marry Leah. What about Mesa HaYevam? Rachel passed away. Yechne says Ishtay here as well. Levi can marry Leah because the Yevama is no longer here. Meis Yavam. Suppose Shimon, the sole surviving brother, aside from Levi, the sole candidate for the mitzvah Yibam passes away, which leaves only Levi available to do the job. Problem is, he's already connected to Leah. He did Kedushin to Leah. So he's sort of stuck. What do? He loses on both accounts. He yotzi as ishte beget. He applies a get to his own wife, to Leah. That's it. He can't marry her because she's achoy zekuka ve'eshes achav b'chalitza. And Rachel, who was his brother Reuven's former wife, she needs chalitza. But you can't do yibum. Why? Achois gerusha. Rachel is a sister of his divorcee. Let's go over to Rashi, off to the side. Shemeros yavam shekidesh. Says Rashi, you have a shemeros yavam, and one of the other brothers happens to be mekadesh her sister. And after Rachel became available to all of them, we tell him, hold on, wait. Because otherwise you're going to run into the sister of Yezekuka. Wait, allow the other brothers to apply Yibam to Rachel. In which case, her zika, her bond with you, will become severed. Rachel passes on. He can marry Leah. Even if he himself would have actually married Rachel and then she passes away, one is allowed to marry a sister of one's wife after her passing. But Mesa Yavam, let's say the Yavam passed away. In this case, we mean Shimon. The only brother available is Levi. He's stuck because he's already connected to Leah. That forms a contradiction. So what does he do? He doesn't get to his wife, i.e. Leah, and Chalitza to Rachel. You can't do Yibum to Rachel because she's a sister of Leah, whom he divorced. Asks the Gemara, we start with Achois Chalutza, which is only Midirabbanan, and therefore we require Chalitza, and then we go on to Achois Gerusha, which is an Isam and Torah, and no Chalitza or Yibum is applied. So what's the connecting word V'chein? Ema reworded, Aval, instead of V'chein, which would indicate that it's a similar case, Aval. In contrast, Aval Amagarish, that's different than Chalutza, because here it's Minat Torah, she's totally potter. Amarish Lakish, Kanshan Rebbe. In fact, in this mission, the Rebbe informs us the difference between the two. Achoitz Gerusha Midivrei Torah, marrying a sister of a divorcee is Minat Torah. Achoitz Chalutza is only Midivrei Seifrim, and therefore it has different halach. Shemeros Yavam Shekidesh. The next part of the mission we speak about halach of Zika. And Rabbi Yehuda Kessler tells us that he's held up because he was Mekadesh, a sister of his Yivam. He has to wait until her case is addressed. And the Mishnah actually gives us two other options. If the Yivama dies, then he's free to be to marry Leah, or in a case where the Yavam dies, then he loses on both accounts. Now, what happens if his own wife, Leah, passes away? Can Levi go back and be miyabim Rachel? You see, when Rachel became available, she was mutter to all, even to Levi. Then when Levi was mekadesh Leah, in effect, he applied an issa to Rachel, because now Rachel is a sister of his wife. But then when Leah passes on, she's no longer here. Rachel becomes mutter again. Would you say so? Machlokes Amoraim. Amar Shmuel. Firstly, halacha kedivrei Rabbi Yehuda Kessler. We hold like Rabbi Yehuda Kessler. Yesh zika is so powerful to make Leah usher on Levi because she is in effect a sister of his Zekuka. But here comes the shaila. What happens if Mesa Ishtei? Mahu biyavimtei. If Leah passes away, can Levi turn around and be miyabim Rachel? Rav, Rabbi Chanina, the Amrit Havayu, they both say, sure, Mesa Ishtei mutter biyavimtei, because the Yevama was mutter initially, became Aser, but now she's mutter again. Shmuel v'Ravasi damar tavai. They both say differently. Meisa ishtei asur b'yivimtai. No, once Rachel becomes asur on account of Levi being Makalish Leah, that Issa doesn't expire. Amar Rava my time of the Rav. Let's understand Rav. That she becomes mutter again. Mishum da'avoy Yevama shehutra. Because in effect Rachel is a Yevama, who was indeed mutter at her initial stage of Nefila. And then she became asur on account of Leah's marriage or Kiddushin to Levi. Once Leah was removed from the scene, Rachel goes back to the heter. Tachsar le'teira rishon, she reverts back to the original heter and she's mutter. Ma'asav Rav Hamnuna, how could you say that? Don't you remember that Mishnah in the Chavtes? Gimel Achan, you have three brothers, Reuben, Shimon, and Levi. Beis Nesuin, Beis Achayis, Reuben married to Rachel, Shimon to Leah. Ve'echad Mufna, and Levi is available, unmarried. Meis Echad Mibalei Achayis, Reuben, the husband of Rachel, passes on. Sabah Mufna Mamar, Levi approaches her and does this Mamar, this type of Kedushin to the Yevama. And then Shimon, husband of Leah, passes away. Ve'achakach Mesa Ishtay Achrov, and then the wife of Levi, meaning Rachel, passes away. So what happened was that Reuben passes away, right, leaving Rachel behind. Levi does mamar, some sort of semi-connection. Then, at that point, Shimon passes away, leaving behind Leah, which in effect makes Rachel asur to Levi, although he did mamar, but mamar is not a true yibum. So Levi can't actually marry Rachel now, because Rachel is a sister of Leah, who is also a zakukah. So each one of them is like a sister of your wife. Achoy zakukah is asur. Ve'achakach meisa ishta achrav. And then afterwards, Leah, Shimon's wife, also passed away, leaving Rachel as is. So Rachel started off being mutter. When Leah arrived on the scene, Leah applied Issa to Rachel. But then Leah left the scene, she doesn't exist. What happens now? Oisa Yevama, Rachel. You can only do chalitza, not yibam. V'amai, why? According to Rav, tihavek Yevama shutra. Let's treat it like Yevama, who was mutter at her initial stage of nefila. And then she became asur for as a result of some sort of external, element. The chazer v'hutra, and that element was removed. She becomes mutter again. What happens? Tachsar le'teira rishon. She reverts back to the original heter. Ishtik. So he remained silent. He had no answer. Right? When Rava heard this kasha from Rav Hamnuna, he was silenced. Lebasa the Nafak, after Rav Hamnuna left the Beis HaMedrash, Omar, so Rava says, "Ooh, that's a pity. Amayloi Amrsley. Why didn't I just simply tell him Rabbi Elazar here? That Mishnah that you quoted, yeah, that's a different sheet. That's Rabbi Elazar. The Omar, he holds, Kivan Sha'amda Olav Shah Achas Be'isr. If at any time, if at any point, the Yevama became asur to the Yavam, Nesra Olav Oilamis, that Isur remains on her forever. Once asur, always asur. Rashi says, the classic case of Nesra is, Reuven married Rachel, divorced her, then remarried her. Says Rabbi Elazar, you should know that even if Reuven passes away, Shimon cannot be miyabim Rachel. You know why? Because when Reuven initially was megarish Rachel, Rachel became asur to Shimon because she is grushas achiv. So although Reuven remarried her, and now Reuven passes away and she's a regular Yevama, no, she was once asur. If at any point, way back when, there was Isser between Rachel and Shimon, once asur, always asur. That's Rabbi Elazar's shita. Rabbanan disagree. No, it's unrelated to Yibum, just because she was asur 10 years ago, but then she became his wife again, and now she's a Yevama. Yes, according to Rabbi Elazar, it makes sense why that Mishnah that we just quoted, the three brothers, would not allow Yibum, because he holds that once the Yevama becomes Asr for whatever reason, in that case it happens to be because she was Achais Zakuka, whatever the reason is, once Asr, always Asr. But us, we, the Rabbana, don't hold to that. And therefore, in our Sugya, in our Mishnah, if the Yevama was Mutter and then became Asr, and then the Isser was removed, she's back to Heter. Hadar Amar, then Rava says, you know what? No, I go back on that. I cannot blame, so to speak. I can't attribute that Mishnah to Rabbi Lezer. Emo de Amar Rabbi Lezer. When does Rabbi Lezer hold of this halacha of once Asr, always Asr? Heicha de lechazya b'shas nefila. That's only when there was some sort of Isser applied to the Isha during Nefila. She had a pre-existing Isser. She had a pre-existing condition, so to speak. So she came into the Nefila with that Isser riding on her. Such as in the case that we mentioned when she was his brother's Grusha. That happened before Nefila. But in the case where the Yevama, at the point of Nefila, when she became a potential Yevama, at that point she was mutter. And only later on did something happen. An occurrence that actually generated a new Isser. And that Isser was then removed. How do you know Rabbi Lezer would still consider her Asr? Such as in our cases here. Whether it's our Mishnah, that the brother went and was Mekadesh, her sister. That's an Isser that arrived later. Or in the case of the Mishnah that we quoted there, with the three brothers, and we had one Yevama, then the other Yevama arrives. These are all things that happen. These are development that happen later. Who's to say that according to Rabbi Lezer that will be Asr? I can't attribute those to Rabbi Lezer. Hadur Amarin. Rabbi turned around and says, no. Actually, it does fit with Rabbi Lezer. I'll quote you a brisa where it's clear that according to Rabbi Lezer, if the Yevama becomes Asr for whatever reason, even later on, the Isser sticks. And therefore, I have a terrorist to your kasha. The mission that you quoted, that's Rabbi Lezer. Once Asr, always Asr. But I'm going like the Rabbanon. If a Yevama was mutter at the point of Nefila and then became Asr for whatever reason, and then that Isser was removed, she goes back and becomes mutter again. About Tanya, as we find in the Bryce, Rabbi Lezer Omer, in reference to the case of our Mishnah with the three brothers, Reuven, Shimon, and Levi. Reuven passes away. Shimon does chalitza to Rachel. And then Levi does kiddushin. Sorry, again. We have three brothers, Reuven, Shimon, and Levi. Reuven passes away, leaving behind Rachel. At that point, before anything, Levi decides to jump in and do kiddushin with Leah, Rachel's sister. That's problematic because Leah is a sister of Rachel, his Zakuka. Says Rabbi Lezer, you know what? Rabbi Lezer, if Rachel passes away, Mutter be'ishtoi, Levi is free to marry Leah. Because there's no interfering factors. Mesa ishtoi. But, should Leah pass away, now the question is whether Levi can approach Rachel and do Yibam, because he's no longer married to Leah. Oisi Yevama, guess what happens to Rachel? Chalitza no Yibam. Why? Because of this reason. Rabbi Lezer l'shitase. Once a Yevama becomes Asr on you for whatever reason, even if that Isser is removed, it stays Asr. So in conclusion, says the Gemara, our machlokes Amoraim seems to be really in line with the machlokes Tanoim. Again, we're speaking about this case where we had Reuven who passed away, leaving behind Rachel. Levi was Mekadesh Leah, Rachel's sister. And now Leah passes away. Can Levi approach Rachel? We had Shmuel and Rav Asi who said no. Rachel was once Asr on Levi, always Asr. We have Rav and Rabbi Chanina who says yes, mutter. because she was mutter to begin with, then she became asr, go back to heter. It seems that these Amoraim are really discussing the same thing as we have Machlekes Tanoim. It seems like they're going to Rabbi Lezer, and not like the Rabbanon. Rabbanon is in that case that we mentioned, if Reuven remarries his Gerusha, and then he passes away. Rabbi Lezer says, well, once the Gerusha was Asr on Shimon, because Gerusha's Achiv is Asr, always Asr. Rabbanon say, no. Who cares if at one point in time Rachel would have been considered Asr to Shimon? But once Reuven remarried her, and then he passed away, she's a Yevamos, she's Mutter to Shimon. So Shmuel and Rabasi, who hold that once the Yevama is Asr, she's always Asr, that's like Rabbi Lezer, not like the Rabbanon. No, I feel Temek Rabbanon, they could be in line with even with the Rabbanon. Ad kan lekamiflagi Rabbanon le Rabbi Lezer. Perhaps Rabbanon only disagrees with Rabbi Lezer in that case. In the case where Reuven divorced Rachel, remarried her, and now he passed away. In that case, they say, you know what? The fact that she was once Gerusha, Shimon was Asr to Rachel because she was Reuven's divorcee, that's old news. That's past history. Right now, she's presenting to you as Reuven's widow, as an almana, as a yevama. Because there's no Yibum related Isurim here. Right? At the point of Shimon's death, there was no Isser. There's no reason why Rachel will be Asr on Shimon. The fact that she was once Asr 20 years ago before Reuven remarried her, that's not relevant to Yibum. But in our case, in the case of the three brothers, Reuven passed away, leaving behind Rachel. Levi was Mekadesh Leah. Havalacha the Itzer, she became Asr in a Yibum state, as a Yevama. So this Isser applied to Rachel. Afilu Rabbanon Maidu, even they would agree that Isser sticks, perhaps. That's a shita of Shmuel and Ravasi. And of course, Rav disagrees. Rav says, even in this case, it's only Rabbi Lezer who would say it's Asr. I'm following the Rabbanon. And once the Yevama was mutter, and then she became Asr, and she goes back to Heter, it's fine. So bottom line is, when we have a Yevama who was Asr at a certain point, and then that Isser is removed, what happens to her? So really, there were three possible circumstances, three possible scenarios. We have a case where there was an Isser applied to the Isha, who's going to be the potential Yevama. That Isser came about before her Nefila, during her husband's lifetime. She was considered a Grushas Reuven to Shimon. Right? Reuven had a wife, divorced her. At that point, she's considered Reuven's Gerusha, and she's Asr to his brothers. And then Reuven happened to remarry her. And then he passed away, and she was an Yevama. In that case, Rabbi Lezer says, since there was an Isser applied to Rachel, even way back when, that Isser sticks, and even when she presents herself as a Yevama to Shimon, she's Asr. According to Rabbanan, no. That's not a Yibum related Isser, and therefore, now we just treat her like a regular Yevama, she's Mutter to Shimon. Now, of course, we have to point this out. Tosis points this out based on a Gemara back on the Chav Zayin, that if at the point of Nefila, the Yevama was Asr on the Yavam, all agree. Certainly, if it's an Isser, right? So all agree that Isser sticks, because the Yibum was triggered when she was Asr. So it's Chal. That Isser gets applied and can never be revoked. She becomes like an Erva, Eshes Ach, which is Asr for all time. What about La'achar Nafila? If when she presented herself as a Yevama, she was Mutter, and then there was some sort of factor that arrived and made her Asr, such as in our Mishnah. And then that factor was removed, such as in this case where Levi was Mekadesh Leah, and then Leah passed away. So that happened La'achar Nafila. According to Rav, here as well, we will have a machlekes between Rabbi Lezer, who says Asr, Rabbanan, who say Mutar, and we follow the Rabbanan. Shmuel says no. In this case, that the Isser arrived when she was in the Yevama state, that Isser sticks for all time. Continues the Mishnah. So we spoke about the 3-month interval between marriages. The point of which is to ascertain that she is not muberes. It's meant to determine whether or not she's pregnant, in which case we can. It will allow us to identify the identity of the child born down the road. If she marries too soon and there's a child 7 months down the road, we'll never know who his father is. Husband number 2, who fathered a 7-month baby, or is it a 9-month pregnancy, way back when from the first husband? Chacham instituted a 3-month wait period. When it comes to marriage, when it comes to yibum, you need to wait those 3 months. Hayevama lo yisachlitz lo tisiyabim. She may not engage in chalitza or yibum until 3 months pass. Why not chalitza? The Gemara will discuss. Likewise, all women between marriages, lo yisarsu, should not get engaged, v'lo yinasu, nor married, until they wait 3 months. Echad besulais, whether she's in a state of a besula, echad beulais, whether she had engaged with somebody has married already, echad gerusha, is a divorcee, echad almanis, a widow, echad nesuais, whether she had been previously married, echad arusis, is only engaged. We don't differentiate. In all cases, there's a break between marriages. Rabbi Yehuda takes issue. He says, no, Rabbi Yehuda hanasuis is ars. A woman who was really married, and there's a chashash of zera from the first husband, but she can get engaged. That's not going to create confusion. Likewise, ve'arusais, if she was merely engaged, in which case there's no concern of children, yinasu, this woman can get married right away. Except chutz min arusais Rabbi Yehuda, the women who were engaged in the Yehuda area of Eretz Yisrael, where they would be miyachad them with their chasanim to make them have them get familiar with each other, because he's very familiar with her, very close, and therefore there's a concern perhaps that there was some interaction as married. In this case, we still require, even though it was only erison, we apply the 3-month interval. Rabbi Yossi Omer, I agree with Rabbi Yehuda, but I take issue with one thing. He spoke about an Isha who was Nesua, going ahead and getting engaged right away. It depends. Kol hanoshim is arsu. All women who were previously married can proceed with erison, except chutz min almana, except for a widow. It's inappropriate. Nay ibul. She needs to observe at least 30 days of mourning before she goes ahead and gets engaged. Asks the Gemara. I understand why Yibum is not allowed within 3 months. Concerned that perhaps he'll discover she is pregnant, and the child will be born as a healthy child. In which case, Reuben, the former husband, has a child. And no Yibum was required because and Shimon engaged with her Ereva. Does that make sense? Elolei sachlitz? Don't do chalitza during this time. Amai, what's wrong? So let's say she doesn't need it. What's the big deal? What's the issur? Leima tahavet yufted Rabbi Yehuda. Is this a kasha Rabbi Yehuda? The Amar chalitzas muberes shma chalitza. He maintains that if a chalitza done, if you do a chalitza to an isha muberes, it works. So if you did chalitza and you discovered she's muberes, and she ends up miscarrying the child, in which case she was really a childless woman, or let's say the husband was a childless man, in which case chalitza is required, that works. We learned this back in the Flamen Hay. We apply it, so to speak, retroactively. So why can't you apply chalitza right away? If it turns out that she needed the chalitza, you have it. If it was unnecessary, okay, no harm. Asks the Gemara, Valav miyusvine l'Rabbi Yochanan chadazimra. You already had a kasha Rabbi Yochanan once, and in fact we concluded that the localfile is Rish Lakish, that you cannot do chalitza to muberes. So why are you asking another kasha? Leima meha not mitiyavatu. Perhaps this is going to be another kasha. Rashi says, if you can figure out a solution to the first kasha, you'll have another kasha. No. This Mishnah is not a kasha on Rav Yehuda. Ha chaynu taima. You know why we don't do chalitza at this early point? Shema yehev lad ben kayama. Perhaps it will turn out that the child is a viable child, a healthy child, and she did not need a chalitza. In which case, we have to go make an announcement. You have to make an announcement. Rabbi say, this is not a proper chalitza. She's mutter to a kohen. She's not a chalutza. So on account of this, we refrain. Okay, so make the announcement. What's the big deal? Answers the Gemara, Dilma Ika. Perhaps there'll be a person, the Havoi B'chalitza, who will have been present during this great Chamili Chalitza ceremony. Big news in town, a Chalitza in town. He comes and he watches, but then he left town. He won't be around when we come back around and make that pronouncement. We make that announcement and the achraza, and he'll think that she's a chalutza. He'll treat her as pasal from kahuna, and then you know what's going to happen? He comes back a year later. Oh, look, Rachel's married to a kohen. Gevald. Oh, apparently a chalutza is mutal a kohen. So to avoid this pitfall, we don't want to get involved in doing a chalitza, which might get invalidated. Okay, so that explains a tenach almana. An ordinary yevama, of course, is an almana. We don't want to apply chalitza unnecessarily, or at least if there's a chance of it being unnecessary. But grusha ma'ikal ameima, let's say Rachel, who is now Reuben's widow, had been previously married to somebody else and she got divorced. So in any case, she's puzzled to a kohen. So there's no loss here. In any case, she's not roy for a kohen. So do the chalitza, and at worst case, the chalitza is not needed. What about the halacha to a kohen? She's puzzled anyways. The answer is mishum de mafsed la mezoinais, because you're going to have her lose her financial support. Halacha is that a yevama, for the first 3 months after Misa, is supported by way of her former husband's assets. That's the halacha. Right? Since she can't get married during that time, she's sort of held up on account of her husband. So he's meant to provide her needs. We take it from his properties. But if you do chalitza right away, that's it. His commitment's over. And she'll lose out. So really it's for her benefit. Tosfos points this out. According to this, it's not an isser, it's just an eitzah tova. Wait until 3 months. Take the chalitza then, and then marry right away, remarry right away. Teinach Nesur, that explains why a married woman whose husband passed away should wait until 3 months are over, because a married woman is supported by her husband. But Arusa, let's say she was only engaged, in which case she doesn't get mezainis in any case. And on top of that, she's also a grusha. She's been previously married, she was already a grusha, in which case she's anyways pasal kohen. So bottom line is, both factors that we discussed don't apply. The psula kuna doesn't apply, she's a grusha. Mezainis, in any case, she's not eligible for mezainis. Michael Amemar, so in this case, why can't you do chalitza right away? Says the Gemara, there's actually a third reason. Elam mishum de Rabbi Yossi, the Sani. Ma'as abodem echad, a story involving this fellow, Shebol lefnei Rabbi Yossi, who approaches Rabbi Yossi. Amar lei tells him, I have a shayla. Ma'u lachlis b'sech gimel. Is chalitza permitted within 3 months? Amar lei, he says, lei, of course not. Loi tachlitz. No, don't do chalitza. So he says to him, why? Rabbi, why? But tachlitz, what's wrong with chalitza? So let's say it's not necessary. It turns out that she's muberes. Who cares? So I did chalitza for no reason. Uma bekach. Rabbi Yossi responds with a pasuk. Kara olav mikrazeh. Listen to this pasuk. If the yavam chooses not to do yivam, then he does chalitza. What does this imply? Chalitza is only applied when yibum is an option. Ha'im chafetz yavim. And we learn it's basically two sides of the coin. Kala oidel yibum, oidel chalitza. If yibum is an option, chalitza is an option, but since within 3 months, yibum is not an option due to the Gzeres Chacham. So as Rashi explains, lichatchila, we're looking for a proper, an optimal chalitza, and that's only if yibum is an option. optimally, chalitza should be an alternative to Yibum. And therefore, you must wait 3 months. After which, Yibum is an option. And then do chalitza. So bottom line is we asked the kasha, what's wrong with chalitza teich gimel? We gave 3 terutzim. Either the kohen confusion, mezoines, or finally because, ideally, chalitza should be applied when Yibum is an option. Maser Rav Chinana, he asked the kasha from a brisa, where it says asfeikos. All kinds of uncertainties. What do you do then? Chaltzis le'misyabmois, you do chalitza without Yibum. My sfeikas, what does a sfeikas mean? Ilay masafik kedushin. You don't know if Reuven was Mekadesh Rachel or not. There's a suffix whether she even married Rachel, and then Reuven passes away. That's called a suffix. That doesn't allow Yibum? Why not? What's wrong with Yibum there? Amay lo misyabmois, tisyabim. Let Shimon do Yibum to Rachel. There's no harm. Look, either she's his brother's wife, or if there was no kedushin, then she's just a stranger. Nothing wrong. That can't be the case. Elolav suffix shekidish achas mishtei achayis. When we say suffix, it means like this. This fellow did kedushin to one of 2 sisters. He's not sure which one. Not sure, I can't remember. So now he's stuck. Now the Yavam is stuck. He's stuck, the Yavam is stuck, because when he passes away, the Yavam can't be Miyabim either one. Look, each one might be the sister of his real Yevamo, the Achayis Kuka. Now here, you have a case where Yibum is not an option. Can he be Miyabim either one? No, of course not. Uktani Chayletzes, and the Brisa clearly says Chalitza is okay. So you see, one is not dependent on the other. Oh, it says the Gemara, big difference. How can you compare? Hasam over there, it's just a question of verifying the facts. Fine, to you it's unverifiable. You'll never figure out whether it was really Rachel or Leah, but technically speaking, you can find out. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing inherently wrong with these women. Im Yava Eliyahu v'Yamer. Say, Eliyahu Nabi comes around and tells you, the Ha Kiddush. It's Rachel, who he was Mekat. She's the one. In that case, certainly Bas Chalitza v'Yibum. You can do Chalitza v'Yibum. It's just a question of facts. So since it's not inherently a deficiency in the Isha, so it's called Oila Yibum. Because as per the Isha, as far as she's concerned, she's a potential Yevama. You don't know which one it is. The big difference. And therefore Chalitza is okay. Hacha, in our case, within 3 months of the Misa, Yibum is off the table, period. Even if Eliyahu comes today and tells us, Abra, she's not expecting. You're going to pay attention to him and do Yibum? Of course not. Of course not. There's an Isser. You're going to do Yibum to the Isha? Of course not. Haktana, I'll bring you a raya. Look at Haktana. Who's a Yevama? The Lav Bari Buri. Certainly she's not capable of carrying, of becoming pregnant. We know this for a fact. We had this a couple of days ago. The Isser of the 3 month, the wait period applies to all equally, whether G'dayla or Ktana, without any exceptions. So even if you know for a fact she is not Muberes, you can't do Yibum until after 3 months. You have to conform to the Chachamim's Takana, right? So there's something inherently deficient in this situation. This Yevama is not a Bas Yibum, and therefore Chalitza should not be applied L'chatchila. If you have a better alternative, wait until 3 months are over. Tana Rabbanon. So the Gemara made slight reference to the concept of who supports the Yevama. Now we're going to have more details. Tana Rabbanon. Yevama shloisha chadashim harishonim. The first 3 months, nizaynis mishal baal. She's supported by way of her former husband's assets. Why? Because, as Rashi says, that's part of the Ksuba commandment. He says, look, as long as you're an almana and you stick around and you're sitting in my home and I provide for your needs. That's only within the first 3 months. Because, as Rashi says, the reason why she's not free to remarry is because of her husband. She's being held up. So he has to pay her bills. Mikan ve'elach, after 3 months are up, she's free to go and do yibum or get married. Einon is zaynis, le mishal baal, le mishal yavam. At this point, she's not held up because of the husband. So husband is pater, and yavam as well. He's not her husband. So she has to take care of her business quickly, take care of the yibum or the chalitza, and go get married. Amad bedinu baruch. But let's say the yavam is giving her a hard time. She took him to the bez and she says, "Look, Rabbi Yid, what's the delaying all about? Either the yibum or chalitza." Ubarach, and this fellow took the next flight out. And the zaynis mishal yavam at this point, and Bezdin obliges the yavam, or at least they collect his properties and they support the yavam. What happens like this? If naflil fnei yavam katan, she presents to a katan who cannot be miyavim. So now she's sort of stuck. Miyavam less law. She can't collect from the yavam. He's still too young to do yivam. No, you can't hold it against him. Mi ba'al mai. Can she still collect from her former husband? Interesting shayla. Because really, she's held up because of him. It's almost like within the first 3 months. It's a very long 3 months. She has to wait for the katan to grow up. On the other hand, technically, the yavam should be taken care of. So what happens? Pligibar of Achav Ravina, Machlekes Amoraim. Chad Amar Isla, one says that she can collect from her husband's properties. V'chad Amar Lesla, the other one says no, she can't. Bilchas Lesla, that's the halacha, she can't collect. Mishmaya Kansua. In heaven, they have some sort of calculation here. They sort of penalized her. They put her in this predicament. Gamzul L'Toiva. She has to go out and support herself because we can't apply the chiyuv to anybody. Okay, let's do a brief chazor of today's daf. We started with the Mishnah. We had Reuven who passed away, and there are Shimon and Levi standing here. Levi chooses to do kiddushin to Leah. Says the Mishnah, the Gemara Paschas like that, in the name of Shmuel, he has to hold up. Because Leah is Rachel. Rachel is Yevamos' wife. The Mishnah tells us that if Shimon does Yibam to Rachel, then Levi is free to marry Leah, no problem. Zika is gone. Likewise, if the Yevama passes away, once again, Levi can marry Leah. What happens if Leah passes away? Mesa Ishtay. Here we go. This is a big machlekes. The machlekes revolves around the question of Nasra. Yevama who was Asr and then became Mutter, such as in this case. Initially, Rachel was Mutter to Levi, and then he married, he did Kedushin to Leah. He created that problem. But then she was taken off the scene. Shall we consider Rachel to be Mutter again? Big machlekes. Now, let's break it down to 3 scenarios, 3 possibilities. If the Isha, who's a Yevama, was Asr at some early point in history, we'll call it Kodem Nefila. She was the Grusha of Reuven, then Reuven remarried her, and then she was Neifel even to Shimon. Reza says she remains Asr. Rabbanan say no. That's not a Yibam related Isser. And as a Yevama, she was Mutter. All agree, if Bishas Nefila she was Asr, that remains for all time. What happens La'achar Nefila, such as in our Gemara? Rachel was Mutter, and then became Asr, and then became Mutter again. Rav says, well, according to Blazer, yeah, it's Asr. But according to Rabban, who he paskin like, it's Mutter. Shmuel says according to all Shittas. In this case, it would be Asr as well. We learned that typically all women have to wait 3 months between marriages, according to Tanakama in all cases. Rabbi Yehuda says no. If she's only trying to get engaged, that's okay. Or if she was previously only engaged, that's also fine. Rabbi Yossi adds that a Nesua should wait at least 30 months before even getting engaged, in order to observe Avelos on account of losing her husband. Within 3 months, Yevama can't do Yibam, that's understood. We have to determine whether or not she's expecting. What's wrong with Chalitza? We have 3 Tirutzim. Either it's going to create that confusion with the kahuna, but that doesn't apply to an issue who's already puzzled, like a Grusha. Oh, here comes the next reason. We don't want her to lose Mezainis. Well, by Arusa, who doesn't get Mezayis in any case, that doesn't apply. And the conclusion of the Gemara is, ideally, we try to avoid doing Chalitza to an Isha who's not Roy Yibam. So wait until 3 months, she'll be Roy Yibam, then apply the Chalitza. Who pays the Mezayis of the Yevamos? Within 3 months, her former husband's properties. After 3 months, basically nobody, unless the Yavam was meant to do Yibam and he took off. Then we take from his properties. Let's say she's waiting for the youngster to grow up and do Yibam. Who pays at that point? Can she collect from her former husband's entity? The Machlekes Amoraim, and the halacha is, no, she may not. Gamzul Tova. All the best to you and tons of Atzlacha.